to another edition of the Board Game Classroom. One of the management things that has to be done in the classroom is when students are working, you have to decide what happens to the students who are done early. Well, in my classroom, there are many different things the students can do if they are done early. I always double check to make sure they're actually done. They have to prove to me they are done with their work. And if they forgot something at home, that doesn't count as being done. That's counted as, well, they didn't have their stuff prepared and they get marked for that. But what if the student really is done early and they did it well? Well, there's different things they could do while I'm working with other students. One of the things they could be doing is reading a book that they need to be reading for a different class, or working on other homework, or playing a puzzle that I have set up in the room, or finally playing a board game I have set up in a room. And since this Sunday is Super Bowl Sunday, and it's always an exciting time, and since flag football is one of the classes taught in PE, one of the games I set up is First and Goal by R&R Games. First and Goal is a great game for in the classroom because it has a very small profile and it is well designed and organized so bits don't tend to get knocked around as much. So I could stick this game in a corner and leave it, and kids can come back to it, and then sometimes they even take turns playing it, and they can try to win a game of football. And since it's Super Bowl Sunday, it fits with the time of the year. So let's take a look at First and Goal is a football game. It's played on a football field, marked like a normal football field at 100 yards. The board is magnetic, which is nice because things stay in place. The football stakes in place. The field is divided up into 4 quarters. So first down, second down, third down, fourth down. So it's easily tracked and remembered where you are. The chains being on a certain side of the field so you know which direction this is being played as well is super, super helpful. And the game is played pretty simply. The player has a hand of cards, and they pick a card. The offense will pick a card. The defense will pick a card. They will reveal it at the exact same time. And for example, right here, I have the offense has played a button hook play, and that'll match up. The defense, well, it'll match up to what the defense played with the strong safety. And all I do is I look at the card, and I look for where strong safety is, and it says roll a green die, roll a black die, and roll the penalty die, and see what happens. So the offensive player will roll the 2 dice and see what happens. They get a 12, plus they might have gotten a breakaway. Re-roll the dice and move again. Okay, so we get to roll that again. Let's see what happens. Now, they roll a 12, that's -3, so that's really 9. They broke away though, so they're going to get to add 10 for that breakaway. So that can really mean, and I rolled it again, so that could really mean, but now they got a potential penalty there. So when there's a potential penalty, I'm going to roll the referee die, and nothing happened. So it really depends on what's going to go. And that play could have turned out really nicely. I mean, that was a lot of yards that were gained on that play. And I would move the football. Obviously, that'd be a first down. And I'd move the football as many yards as I rolled. I didn't actually take the time to add them up. And I go forward, trying to score on the opponent's side. So the game works really smoothly and really fast at times. There are times where it does slow down. It takes a while to get through this whole game, but it's pretty effective. One of the other good things is the player can take a timeout occasionally, and you might need a timeout in this game. And if they take a timeout, they can draw cards, or they can go through their discard pile to try to pick a card out of the discard pile that might help them out, which makes it more difficult for the defense to try to figure them out. Or the defense doing it the other way, and the offense trying to figure out what the defensive player is going to do. So doing that makes for a little bit of interesting gameplay. Now, when the ball has, whether it's been a punt or the team has scored and the opposing team has gotten the ball from the kickoff, and it tells you what to roll for the kickoff, field goals, punts, and so on. We'll talk about field goals in a minute. The teams will switch the decks of cards, draw their cards, and then play as the offense and defense as they go back and forth, trying to win at first and goal. Now the game is pretty balanced because they're always rolling the same dice. They're always going through different things. And if they have to do a kickoff, they decide secretly if they're going to kick or they're going to fake punt it. And then it tells you what happens when they reveal the results. So if the offense picked a kick and the defense thought they were going to kick, you do a normal field goal or punt. And he goes through and you look at the chart to know what you need to roll. And it goes through it like that. Now the game has many expansions to it. Let's take a look at the expansions. Now I only have one expansion to first and goal. That expansion are the Knights, the Monsters, the Locusts, and the Spartans. But what that does is the dice are different than what come with the base game. What that means is the Knights are really good at running, not very good at defense. The Monsters are a little bit better at passing than defense and running. The Spartans are huge on defense. So if I have a student that wants to be more defensive, they could pick the Spartans. Or the Locusts, they really like the passing game, but their running game's not too bad, but their defense is not great. So you can pick a team and you can alter the game because the dice, this one, you sticker them and they vary for what you are attempting to do. Due to a player count of 2 to 4, but really playing better with 2, I would not recommend first and goal as a general whole class activity, but as a side thing going on in the classroom, especially with students who are done with their work or an after-school activity, I think first and goal works really well for those things in the classroom. But because it's hard to play as a large group, and it's a harder game to involve a large group of students, I don't recommend it for that purpose. But for the purpose of something on the side going, it fits a very low profile. It doesn't take up very much space at all. The board has that ability as a save option because it's magnetic. Things tend to stay where they are, although with the scoreboard, that's easily moved. So usually we track that on a piece of paper or on a whiteboard. But that allows for us to keep this game going in the side, have a little bit of fun, and gives those students who are done with their work and have met their requirements to have something they can do and not disrupt the students that need a little more time, a little more help. Now sometimes those students do help the other students, but it gives them a break from their work as well so they can have some time to do something else and something to shoot for. Having that filler thing in the classroom so that students have something they can, why should I get my work done at school? I can just work on it slowly, but maybe I want to be encouraged to have a little bit of time to do something else. Gives them something to look forward to as well. So first and goal, Super Bowl this Sunday. Why not give it a shot in your classroom? Let the students try to be their own football team manager. Thank you for watching another edition of the Board Game Classroom. Have a great day gaming.